Hello, everyone. My name is Timothy Willoughby. Now, before you say, why am I wearing this? But now, first of all, I did publish a video, a live stream about what I was going to do, and the experiment actually, no explosion. Great. Now, what I used was, I actually used a plastic bowl, and I had safety equipment and made sure I did it outside. So I used these two products here. I only used a tad bit, and as you can see, there's just a tiny bit left. So I use these two. We got hydrogen peroxide, which is basically 3%, and we got a acetonium polish remover, which is 100%. Now, I added this first because this, well, of course, this, actually, I was going to add this first, but I believed what happened was the acetone dried up very fast because we were outside. So this might be not solved. But because the acetone basically dissipate very fast, I didn't do this. That's ridiculous because I actually had to do it separately. But I think I did add the, yeah. So basically, these two, I don't know. I don't know what to think about them. But hey, it worked. But it didn't work. It didn't, there was no explosion. So, but probably because the acetone evaporated that fast. So, um, it did. Anybody out there as a chemist, please let me know um, that this might be dangerous. But I understand it possibly is. And if you do explain me that this actually does explode, I'm okay with that because that means, I mean, these two are small. They're just small. I wasn't like just putting all these two together. That would definitely do something bad. That's why I used something tiny, like a tiny bit. So I had a little jar, keep the reaction in, and nothing happened. So obviously, probably was just the acetone. No, the hydrogen peroxide basically just doesn't evaporate. So because this evaporates extremely fast, yeah. But I was using plastic, so I had to hurry up before the plastic melted. But the experiment was normal, and it went all right. There was, yeah, I think because the acetone was drained out immediately. So yeah, it's okay. But I recommend not trying this at home because I'm not sure that you might put more than usual. But try doing this outside if you're, if you know about what's going on. Try this outside. Use it as a rocket for putting it in space, and fly safe. But obviously, before we do that, I had this thing just in case if the elements did react. Because if I grabbed it and I moved it around to see if the reaction did something and nothing happened. So I'm guessing it dried up. The acetone dried up before I even got this. I wasn't sure, so I had to use this thing because if it did explode, I would have been very far away and it would have been less damage or anything, preventing me to get hurt or anybody else, or anything. Uh, so yeah, I mean, yeah. But yeah, I mean, if you're a chemist, you probably had this experiment already. If you haven't, then obviously do it now and see what you have done and see what reaction happened. And can you use this as rocket fuel? If it depends on it. So yeah, let's see if this can be used as a fuel, not a weapon. See the difference? Fuel, sort of. No, no, it's not. It's actually just used for. You know how much I like rockets. Yeah, I always like rockets. Just going to space is fun. Yeah, but there's gonna have to be unmanned spacecraft because, like me, you to be in space yourself. You got a lot of challenges to go through. You first of all need to have have a I should say a suit, a pressurized suit to protect you from the dangers. Because once there's decompression, you're gonna you're gonna die due to you'll die in seconds. So the best way to might as well not use to go in space. You're because you're probably I mean, you'd be good if you can do that. That'd be amazing. But obviously, if you could get in at least higher altitudes, you can do that by using hot air balloon. Um, but eventually, the weather balloon, if you carried yourself, they're kind of expensive. But if you manage to get higher enough, you could able to basically. But instead of using this fuel, you could just use but this fuel is actually, if it's contained, it's not oxygen because it's hydrogen. So if hydrogen can be a fuel, so so obviously it might have worked, but I was just didn't want to get the plastic thing to get melted. I should have used glass, but I didn't want to ruin the glass. Um, but yeah, I should use. But in the meantime, as I was doing that, I do have a other experiment I've been trying to do, which obviously is not experiment. It's just something fun. It's ice. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna freeze some water up, which I've done years ago at Nee's old house. What I'm gonna do is I freeze it up. I put the timer for 4 hours or less, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna play with it and enjoying something that might be used for something. So yeah, it might as well be fun to do. That obviously was should have been that in my job description, but now I'm kind of scared now. Yeah, I'm not gonna do this for a long time. I don't know why I'm still wearing these. It looks cool on me. Uh, so yeah, I mean that's at all. So we're gonna have to wait for 3 hours until the 3 hours until the ice back there gets frozen over there, like right there. Yeah. But it should be enough. I had to wear saving them got these and these to make sure if it did explode, it wouldn't have blown my hand off. That's why I used this to turn it around because obviously it had to be safe. But yeah, it was just the acetone just drained. It just evaporated fast. So the only way you could get this thing to work is possibly don't let the acetone leak. But still, don't do this unless if you're a chemist and would know what you're doing, dealing with. Because this might be very dangerous, and if it is, more likely you get in trouble, or I should say, But obviously, there was no explosion. But maybe because it was just I was, lucky that it didn't even explode. Um, so yeah. However, I always thought that microwaves did explode, but they actually don't. The only material. So if you actually put a like aluminum foil in there, it sparks, right? It does not like metal, but it does explode. It just sparks, and when it does spark, unless if you want to create plasma, which is very dangerous. Plasma is very hot. However, plasma can be contained by basically using, which you can actually do, but you're gonna ruin your microwave for a little bit. You're gonna damage it by plasma. It's gonna be a shoosh. Plasma is the same stuff that's on the sun, and I don't know how that reaction works, but it is a thing. Obviously this is supposed to be a gaming channel, but obviously I just had to do it. But I'm not gonna do it. Maybe not anymore. I just realized it, and of course I was scared. Yeah, I was really, scared because I really don't like explosions. Fireworks, I don't like loud noises. So it gives you a little bit of a thing. Yeah, that's because explosions scare me. Um, so yeah, I hope you know what you're doing because obviously I'm just 16. No, I'm not 16. I'm 18. I always forget my age for some reason. Uh, so yeah, just yeah, just don't do this at home. Don't do it in your house. And if you see some reaction, stop immediately because that might be very dangerous. So before I get serious, um, uh, yeah, we're done here.